Okay, let's move on to number 2. This one was difficult because it didn't give you answer choices. And those are always more difficult when you have to have it's a griddable. And the other thing was we didn't spend a ton of time talking about this. So let's read the question and see what we have to do. Harold cut 18½ inches off a rope that was 60 inches long. How is the length of the remaining rope in inches written in decimal form? First of all, the question itself is kind of strangely worded. I don't think it's written the way we actually talk. But our main problem here is we have to give an answer that's a decimal, but what they've given us is a fraction, right? So we have to decide 18½ is equal to what that has a decimal in it. And then we are going to do our operation. I think it is much easier to create a decimal first before we do our operations, because honestly, I would much rather add in or subtract decimals than fractions, right? You don't have to find a common denominator. You don't have to then simplify or turn into a mixed number. You just line up your decimals and then add or subtract, right? So, now our biggest question is, what is 18½ written as a decimal? Well, when we went over this in January, I asked you to think about money. Okay, if I were to say, what is $18½ written as a decimal? Like, how would you write that out, $18½ So pause the video, and then after you've written what you think $18½ is written out as a decimal, press play again. Okay, what did you come up with? Well, I am assuming you already had an 18 here, right? And then our decimal. Well, what is half of a dollar? It's 50 cents, right? So 18½ is equal to 18 and 50 hundredths, or 5/10. So now that we know what our decimal equivalent to 18½ is, we can do our operation. So let's figure out what our operation is. How is the length of the remaining rope written? Well, basically that's how much rope is left. And we know when it's asking what is left, we had somewhere was taken away. What is left? What is left? That is what operation? Subtraction, right? So we need to start with what we had, our total rope, and subtract what was taken away. Okay, pause the video and work it out, and then press play again, and let's see if we get the same answer. Okay, so what did you get? Let's see. Well, I know that 0 minus 0 is 0. But I can't say start with 0 and take away 5. So I have to go all the way over to the 6 and regroup. My 6 becomes a 5, and I give to the ones place value. But I need to then take from that, that becomes a 9, and give to the tenths place value. So 10 minus 5 is 5. 9 minus 8 is 1. And 5 minus 1 is 4. So the correct answer is 41 and 50 hundredths inches. So I think a couple of things happened here. First of all, kids would either figure out that half is equal to 50, but not actually do the subtraction. Or at this point, they would get 60 and subtract 18. And say I got 42 and 50 hundredths a lot. 42 and 50 hundredths. That was a popular answer choice. Why is that incorrect? Well, and I think I know how they got that. They got to this point, and although they knew that 0 minus 8, you couldn't do that, but they didn't think about that you couldn't do 0 minus 5. Or they did it in their head. And I think that was probably what was done most. So they knew that 1/2 is 50 hundredths, and then just did 60 minus 18, and that's 42. And then stuck in the 50 hundredths. Well, we know that doesn't work, obviously, because that's not the right answer. The other answer I got was a number with 2/10. They saw the 2 and they automatically thought, well, that must be 2/10 as a decimal. Well, that we know that's not true either. We need to think about money. 1/2 is equal to 5/10 or 50 hundredths, 50 cents. So I want to see your work on why the answer is 41 and 50 hundredths. And then I want you to explain in your own words what they did wrong if they got 42 and 50 hundredths.